Hello everyone, Sam here. I hope you're having a very awesome day. And today I'm here to make a very special video on why I make MR or Mutant Rivalry and why you should care too, okay? Number one is I try to make people think. I try to get people to think for themselves. I try to get them to think, especially with the video I did a couple hours back called Industrialism versus environmentalism, where you have the Guardian of Georgia who represents industrialism. Meanwhile, you have the Guardian of Colorado who represents environmentalism. I try to get people to think, as in, like, should we be on the side of humanity or should we be on the side of Mother Nature? I want people to think where I lay out both arguments of both sides, okay? Alright. Number two is it allows me to see what side people take. As in, I'm a very curious person. I want to see what sides people take. Like, for example, in that other video I did a couple whiles back called right here called Caring versus Selfishness, where I put the Guardian of New Hampshire versus the Guardian of Hawaii. You have the Guardian of New Hampshire who represents caring, and the Guardian of Hawaii who represents selfishness. I'm trying to see, like, what side do people take? Like, do they take on the side of being more caring towards others, or do they take the side of being more selfish and more concerned about ourselves? It allows me to see that. And I'm a very curious person. I'm a little curious man, if you get what I'm saying. Alright. Number three is that there's a bit of nuance from both perspectives of the arguments, See, nuance is very important, but you might be wondering, what is nuance? Well, I'm going to be transitioning and tell you about what nuance and the power of nuance, and I'm going to be transitioning in 1, 2. Alright, transition over. Alright, the power of nuance. And you might be wondering, what is nuance? Well, according to Google, according to resources, it says right here, what is nuance? It says, a subtle difference or a shade of meaning, expression, or a sound of nuances of facial expressions and body language. Now, there are pretty different versions of nuance. Like, for example, there are nuances in words. Like, for example, like if I said the word, right here, like if I said, hey, come here versus, hey, come here, it's the same words, but obviously different nuances. I'm saying them in different tones. Alright, hope that makes sense. And then here's another example of nuance. As in right here. Here's another example of nuance. Or, you guys ever heard that saying, there are nuances in his arguments? Well, here's another example of nuance. For example, the government can be both good and bad. As in, there can be good things that comes from the government, as in wanting to prevent crime and make sure that crime doesn't, continue to exist in a state. Or the government can also be bad, depending on who's running it or what type of policies that government wants to enforce. Because you guys gotta remember, the world ain't so black and white. Alright? The world is not black and white, alright? We have to stop doing this whole black and white stuff. Just because someone might have a different idea or a different opinion or a different perspective doesn't mean they're automatically a terrible person. Alright? Now I'm going to show you a bit of nuances in my Mutant Rivalry series as well. Alright, so I'm going to be transitioning again. I hope this definition of nuance was good, and I hope these examples were good. I know I probably need to get better examples, but these are examples I came up with. And I'm about to transition in 1, 2... Alright, transition over. Alright, now, you might be wondering, how is there nuance in my MR series? Well, there is a bit of nuance. For example, obviously, this is the, right here, the video I did called Industrialism versus Environmentalism. There are, in fact, nuances in that video. As in right here, if you look right here, here are the arguments of both sides. You have the Guardian of Georgia, who represents industrialism, and her name is Brittany Overton. As in right here, she believes industrialism as a better economy helps people live better lives. As wealthy a nation is, equals less poverty. Meanwhile, as in she wants people to focus more on the economy rather than the environment. Meanwhile, you have the guardian of Colorado, Alligator Springs, who represents environmentalism, as in her argument for environmentalism is a better environment helps people live more healthier lives by safeguarding local livelihoods. Now you might be wondering, how is there nuance? Well, look, there is a bit of nuance in both these arguments. Obviously, we should try to have a great economy. However, at the same time, obviously, we should not just, just be destroying the environment willy-nilly. There are consequences of just blindly destroying the environment. However, at the same time, there are consequences of not caring about the economy as well. Alright, so there is a bit of nuance both sides can gather here. You know, the world is not so black and white. I mean, heck, there's even nuance in a video called Caring versus Selfishness. As in right here, if you look on here, you have Katie Luca, who is the guardian of New Hampshire. Then you have Jasper Ford, who is the guardian of Hawaii. Okay? Now, Katie Luca right here makes an argument right here, as in, she makes an argument about why we should be more caring. As in, as we should care about others, as caring about others will lead to establishing great relationships. You know, that's a pretty good argument. But meanwhile, you have the guardian of Hawaii, or Jasper Ford, who makes an argument for selfishness, okay? As you should care about yourself, as in trying to care about what others think will prevent you from accomplishing your goals. As in constantly caring about what other people think will in fact prevent you from accomplishing any of your goals you want to accomplish in life. Now you might be wondering, how is there any nuance? Well, obviously you can look at both arguments and also look at both of them and somewhat agree with both of them as well. Obviously, you know, it is good to establish other great connections with other people and want to help and care about others. Meanwhile, at the same time, you know, you should always try to accomplish the goals you want to accomplish in life as well, and you shouldn't let others drag you down as well. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Alright. Now I'm going to be transitioning again in 3, 2, 1. Alright, transition here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my Twitter account at oddcinema899. And get ready, because I'm also starting another new series called Superpower Explained. I hope you guys will enjoy that. Well, I'll basically be going over the depths of the superpowers that my guardians have and explaining their powers more thoroughly. Okay? So get ready for that. Don't forget to like and share, comment, subscribe, and remember, nuance is very important to a story. Okay? Alright. Have a wonderful day, and may God bless.